Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the administration and faculty of LaSalle Catholic College Preparatory, I am pleased to present to you LaSalle's graduating class of 2015. Please be seated. Good morning. Welcome to our 46th annual commencement exercises. As we salute this graduating class, we are grateful for your presence at the awarding of diplomas and the presentation of distinguished awards. Now, to deliver our invocation, I am honored to present LaSalle's Director of Faith, Mr. Gary Horsch.
Let us remember. Loving God, we thank you so much for our time here together, for all the friends we have made, for all the days of laughter and fun, and for all the times of great discovery and learning. We thank you for all who have given of their energy and skill so that we can graduate today. Our teachers, our mentors, our family, and our loved ones. We thank you for them and give them all to you in prayer. As this chapter on our lives closes, so a new one begins. We present ourselves like an open book before you. Come inscribe your words of life into our hearts. Fill our minds with your thoughts. Fill our bodies with your strength. Fill our hearts with your dreams, that we might eternally love and serve you this day and every day. We ask all this in the glorious name of Jesus, who lives and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, world without end. Amen. St. John Baptist de La Salle, live Jesus in our hearts.
Thank you, Mr. Horsch. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the members of our LaSalle Student Orchestra, under the direction of our very own Mr. John Donnelly, for their participation in this year's graduation. We have seated on stage several honored guests who have joined us to celebrate these accomplished graduates today. Ms. Denise Jones, President, Mr. Andrew Kuffner, Principal, Mr. Mitch Wall, Chair of the Board of Trustees, Ms. Tracy Watkins-Menace, Class of 1979, and President of the LaSalle Alumni Association Board, Ms. Alana O'Brien, Vice Principal for Curriculum, Mr. Devine, Vice Principal for Student Life, and Mr. Gary Horsch, Director of Faith. We are also very pleased to have our distinguished faculty and staff here with us today, and other members of our Board of Trustees, Foundation Board, and Alumni Board. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to invite Ms. Denise Jones, President of LaSalle Catholic College Prep, to come forward to address the graduates and our assembled guests.
Good morning. On behalf of Mr. Mitch Wall, Chair of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Andrew Kuffner, our Principal, we welcome you, board members, faculty and staff, family and friends, and especially LaSalle's class of 2015 to today's commencement. Faculty and staff, let me take this moment first to thank you for embracing the teachings of our founder, John Baptist de La Salle. It is because of you that Jesus will live in their hearts forever, and the world awaits all the goodness they will certainly grace upon it. We started this fall by saying goodbye to our beloved Mrs. Bromley. Make her exemplary life of kindness and commitment to you serve us all in aspiring to this model of living outside of ourselves. Honor her by becoming all she dreamed you would all be. Ladies and gentlemen, so many stories sit before you, so many challenges faced and conquered, so many goals accomplished and dreams yet to be realized. This class of 2015 is incredibly academically accomplished, as well as athletically and artistically. Graduates from this class have been recognized at universities around our nation. They will enter next fall to Georgetown and Villanova, Georgia Institute of Technology and Xavier, Savannah College of Design and Art, and McNally Smith College of Music, and West Point. Some are staying close to home at U of O and OSU, University of Portland, Santa Clara, Scripps, Willamette, Linfield, and Reed. The list goes on. Your class includes a 4-time national racquetball champion, state track champions, a girls' basketball state championship team, chess champions, choir standouts, and the Project Unifying teams in soccer and basketball that returned to our gym 3 state banners. This is the class that led us into 5A level of athletic competition, the smallest school in the Northwest Oregon Conference, and you didn't even blink. You made us Falcon proud. All this, and you never lost sight of the less fortunate, serving former gang members in South Central LA with Father Boyle at Homeboy Industries, young Native Americans on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation in Montana, closer to home at Blanchet House in downtown Portland, or young students right around the corner at Lot Whitcomb Grade School. As Father Greg Boyle said, you built a circle of inclusion. You elected to stand on its margins. You are doing your very best to make sure no one is on the outside of that circle. That will always be your signature. The animation of the banner in the hallway, you walked under it for years. The first one, value the individual. You breathed life into it. This graduating class is the one that includes the first scholars of the Signum Fidei program. Because of this quality, I have an overwhelming, palpable sense of hope for our future. You have all become signs of faith. But because of that same quality, this morning is laced with a bit of ambivalence. Father Mark told us last night at the baccalaureate mass, sometimes time just seems to stand still. Or sometimes God attempts to inject a time out in our lives for the purpose of not hurrying through it. Don't hurry through these last hours of a class together. I think this morning your parents' collective prayer is that they could just freeze time. Sitting here this morning, swelling with pride, perhaps even a bit relieved, are your families. Your grandmas and grandfathers, your moms and dads, your aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, friends that stood by you. These are the people who brought you here today, who read you bedtime stories or coached your CYO basketball teams, chauffeured you to countless lessons and rehearsals, fed you thousands of meals, or told you your haircut looked great, even when it didn't. They put down the newspaper or picked up the phone, and they listened when you needed it most. And sometimes they didn't ask questions when it was clear to them you were not ready to talk. They were confident in you a long time ago, but they wanted you to be confident in yourselves. I want you to know how many times they wanted to fix it, but they didn't. You are stronger because they allowed you to figure it out. When friends let you down and relationships got complicated, confusing, they stepped back and you had to dig deeper. When you felt left out and alone, got cut from the team or didn't get the part, they may have cried, but never in front of you. When they wanted to talk, when they wanted to guide you, and you pushed them away and you were silent, I suspect they prayed. Your parents and the adults sitting here around you guided you in a life so that you understood the importance. I want you to understand the importance of their work these past 4 years. It was not to prepare the path for you. It was to prepare you for the path. It is not their responsibility to make sure the path is smooth, because it's not going to be. None of us knows what lies ahead. so they want you well prepared to navigate it on your own. Our hope here at LaSalle is this educational community has ingrained in you the knowledge and skills that are timeless. I know that you are academically prepared for college and your next steps. With the successful completion of a very intentional faith-based education, you were instructed in the indispensable values of Catholic Christian faith. You know about osmosis and spontaneous combustion, indicators of economic recession. You can program robots and have analyzed the significance of imagery in Pride and Prejudice. You were provided a large view of the world by international relations and study of world history. And you ended your high school career carrying your books, your papers, your binders on a single electronic device. And you began to navigate all the challenges and freedoms that is brought to you to your fingertips. I saw you engaged, innovative, passionate, and on occasion I saw you bored and impatient. It's all part of the journey. Most importantly, we did our best to root and form you in your faith so that you do not lose sight of the understanding that words and actions have consequences, that the human heart is fragile, and that if you want peace, you must work for justice. Now, I think it's fair to say you're ready to move on. You are so done with LaSalle. That is good. That's how it should be. Our job was to launch you to your next challenge with a fuller brain, a broader vision of the world, and a servant heart. If you weren't eager to leave, we would have not completed our job. A member of your class stopped by my office this year and said, "We live in a bubble in LaSalle." He wanted to inform me, "You understand it's not real here, Mrs. Jones." He went on to say, I even wonder if we're ready for the next steps ahead. So too you may wonder, where will all these 4 years at LaSalle take you? I suggest they will take you anywhere you want to go, anywhere the Holy Spirit leads. And it will be your faith. Trust me, it will be your faith that will set you apart in this world. That prepares anyone for any real encounter. Class of 2015, you have been the face of God to us. And as you leave, never forget the sign that greeted you outside the front doors every morning. You are in the holy presence of God. Wherever you go, imprinted on your soul. And lastly, next year, when you are sitting in your dorm room late at night, staring out the window, your curfew's your own, the decision to be made, not witnessed by your parents, I want one message to be resonating in your head. On behalf of all those that love you, remember this: just because you can does not mean you should. Graduates of 2015, you have so enriched our lives. You are now ready for the world, and it is time we share them with you. You have been made in the image of God. Give glory to him in all that you do. God bless you and keep you safe.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. The award of salutatorian is presented to the graduating senior or seniors who have earned the second highest cumulative grade point average through the first 7 semesters of high school. This year, we have 4 salutatorians, 4. These outstanding and well-rounded students embody an impressive breadth of knowledge and pride of personal character. All 4 students have demonstrated a strong dedication to their academics and responsibility to the LaSalle community. This coming fall, Maddie will attend Loyola Marymount University. Owen will attend the University of Southern California. Greg will attend the Georgia Institute of Technology, Georgia Tech. And David will attend the University of Washington, UW. They addressed the assembled at our baccalaureate mass last evening. And on behalf of LaSalle Catholic College Preparatory, I am pleased to present to you the salutatorians for the class of 2015, Madeline Starr, Owen Slyman, David Schroeder, and Greg Detmer. Please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, our salutatorians. The award of valedictorian is granted to the senior or seniors who have demonstrated the highest academic achievement in their class. The administration, in consultation with the academic council, select the recipients based on overall cumulative GPA, course load, grades earned, and other contributing factors. This year we had 2 students that we identified. These scholars earned just over a 1.21 GPA. I think closer to 1.22, 4.22 I should say. 4.22. I'm distracted by the big screens, sorry. I got nowhere to go but up. 4.22 GPA, while taking a plethora of rigorous courses included AP and honors classes. They are truly exemplary in their own unique and special way. In the fall, Kate will attend the University of California at Los Angeles, UCLA, and Eileen will attend Georgetown University. LaSalle Catholic College Prep is pleased to present to you your valedictorians for the class of 2015, Kate Christofferson and Eileen Yee.
Class of 2015, congratulations. After surviving mountains of homework, grueling tests, and many sleepless nights, we get to leave with a diploma in hand and memories that will last a lifetime. To begin, thank yous are in order. To the parents, you've been there with us through it all. Many of you have sacrificed a lot for us to get a fantastic education here at LaSalle. You've stood at our side as we've won and lost athletic competitions, pulled all-nighters, gotten our driver's licenses, and grown into young adults. We would not be here without you. To the teachers, you've pushed us to our limits and beyond. You've spent hours outside of the classroom creating and grading assignments. You've pushed us to put our best work forward and did not expect anything less. You stayed before and after school to help us when we needed it, and you reached out just to talk with us when we were having a bad day. And many of you were like Mr. Cherugino, who kept on smiling no matter how much his BC Calc class complained.
As we reflect on the past 4 years, the major question becomes, how do we measure the time we have spent in high school? Well, that's easy. Simple math, right? About 740 school days, 4,810 hours, and 288,600 minutes. However, these numbers do not do justice to measure what really happened during high school. At least I hope not, because 4,810 hours is kind of a long time to do nothing. Luckily, LaSalle has not let us just sit around aimlessly for these hours, but rather has led us all to accomplish great things. Our class has numerous National Merit Scholars and Oregon Scholars. We are composed of writers, painters, and computer programmers. We've added 9 new state banners to the gym, more than any class has previously done, along with adding school records in track and swimming. However, we are not just a class of incredible athletes and intelligent chess players. Yes, that is considered a sport now, and we have state banners to prove it. But we are also a class where students shine bright on stage during productions such as The Mercado, Steel Magnolias, and many more. Our class has brought spirit to the hallways of LaSalle with the addition of the Spirit Club, and the new senior survivor. Andy Miley, I really hope that you've forgiven me for voting you off the island. Furthermore, and one of my favorites, we pulled off the Petapalooza, where seniors brought over 30 dogs, 2 lizards, a hedgehog, a hamster, a tortoise, and countless fish to school. And I think we can all agree it was so worth the attention to see the hilarious reactions of our peers and teachers. And Mr. Devine, I know you had to put on a stern face, but we all know you thought it was funny too.
Oh, that's not right. Every class has a signature, so to speak, and I think this is ours. We are the class of adaptation. We have seen so many changes at our school, from our new football stadium to using iPads in class, from switching to competing in 5A athletics to welcoming many new teachers' babies into our community. We have seen incredible teachers come and go. We'll never forget Mr. L and his handstands and ecstatic shouting, or D-Ray and his sarcasm and movie references. We were the first class to welcome our Signum Fide students, and because of this incredible program, we got to experience firsthand things such as Gleb's fist bumps, Jack's performance in Once Upon a Mattress, and Wilson's sassiness. We are also the class of spirit. I saw this at our football games this year, with our fantastic student section led by our seniors in the Spirit Club. I saw it at our senior retreat, which had around 80 participants this year, 4 times as more as there have been in the past. I think this says a lot about our class, the enthusiasm we have for getting involved, and the love we have for each other. Lastly, we were the class lucky enough to have Yen Bui grace us with her beauty.
Teachers, you may have learned more about us students, our love lives, and what we do out of school than you care to know. But don't forget all of the interesting and embarrassing things that we learned about you. Don't worry, I won't spill all of your secrets, just a few of our favorites. For example, we have learned endless fun facts about Mrs. Coleman, such as she has never eaten a hamburger, has an odd cat obsession, and gets very competitive while playing trivia, even to the point where she told Keenan Hall to suck it because she won the trivia game. But we all love you, Coleman. We also learned about Miss White and her furry companions through Cheeto Bob and Trixie through our grammar exercises. And Mr. Stiff, we can ascribe to you the many new vocabulary words that will help us study etymology. And a special shout out to my man Jay Moles, returning and being in the crowd today to help us celebrate this monumental moment. Mr. Mullins taught us the valuable lesson to never choose soup. In other words, choose the supplies to make the soup, a metaphor we should all remember. And Mr. Doran, we will never forget that your favorite ice cream flavor is Kirkland vanilla, and you hold strong to that opinion no matter how many new flavors are thrown at you. But may I suggest that you at least try Tillamook vanilla ice cream. And Miss Nichols, thank you for making your students come in on a Saturday to take a physics final. It was such a fun and memorable 4 hours of my life. And Mr. Devine, we all appreciated your tragic prom story about your date who was engaged to another guy.
And we must never forget Miss Bromley, our angel. Many of us had the privilege of being in her classroom, whether she was shooting rubber bands at you to get your attention, exposing you to her great taste in music, sharing her love for supernatural, or simply showing her kindness and patience. She made an impact on all of her students, and for that, we will forever be grateful.
I must say, while writing this speech, I found it very difficult to stay away from the cliches, especially during the ending. Everything that graduationwisdom.com had were quotations like, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition." Or other sayings such as, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it's happened." If these sayings are new to you, well, then clearly no one has given you good advice. However, while these quotations are valuable, and I must say, graduationwisdom.com does have some very wise quotations, I felt that these have been overused. So, my biggest advice to you is to not forget the people in your Link Crew groups, your freshman year homecoming dates, your lab partners, your teachers, your journey dyads, that boy or girl you had a crush on, your best friends. Do not forget the people you rarely talked to, the people that held the door for you. And do not forget the people sitting next to you now, because one day, one of us is going to be famous, and well, we all want it on that. But that's not the point. The real reason is because all of those people went through the same struggle of finishing their homework, picking out the right outfit, learning who their friends are, and somehow got themselves to school every day, or most days. I know some seniors are pushing over 100 class absences, myself included, but we all made it here, ready to graduate. We all played a role in each other's high school experience. Big or small, it was all significant. It all contributed to the lasting impact that the class of 2015 has on this school, especially as we graduate the first class of Signum Fidei students.
While in this moment we lament about the past memories shared, we cannot hit pause on our lives. Instead, we must press play and start living the lives which I know we are all capable of. The pause button may sound tempting, but when you think about the awkward stages of high school, braces, acne, your first kiss, and those bell-bottom jeans you wore freshman year, you realize that 4 years was the perfect amount of time to experience all the changes that high school has to offer. Now, the world needs you. The world needs the future teachers, surgeons, authors, and parents sitting in this room. And so, our final challenge to you is this: go out and make a difference. Whether it be from Mr. Mullins' big ethical questions, Mr. Barstow's advice on avoiding bubbles, going on the Arizona immersion, or playing on the basketball team. Use what you've learned during your 4 years here to work, learn, and grow even more, and impact the world in a positive way. So, as we conclude our speech, the most fitting words are good luck. Good luck to everyone walking across the stage, especially the girls on heels. Please don't trip. Good luck getting the graduation song out of your head. Good luck making the summer count. And finally, good luck wherever life takes you. The world needs your greatness, and we have no doubts that every graduate sitting here will make an impact in the lives of many. And so, in the words of Elle from Legally Blonde, congratulations, class of 2015, we did it.
Thank you, ladies. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Tyrone Stammers, our Director of College Counseling, to announce the seniors who have earned college scholarships and awards. You can follow along in your program for the listing of awards.
Good morning. The following graduates have been awarded academic recognition, honors at entrance, or scholarships and awards. Would the graduate please stand as I read your name? After your name is called, you may sit back down. Catherine Atkinson, Molly Agrimson, Brenna Allen, Cassidy Apperson, Emily Bacon, Ian Basil, Louis Bankston, Daniel Berger, Hannah Bergeson, Michael Bianca, Austin Bothworth, Alexander Bridgman, Yen Bowie, Caitlin Carr, Susanna Carroll, Alexandria Cavender, Francesca Chabot, Kate Christofferson, Cheyenne Clark, Michael Cleary, Brennan Collins, Madeline Collins, Blake Colton, Mackenzie Cook, Lauren Dana, Greg Detmer, Moira Eaton, Alex Edwards, Taylor Eel, Brandon Falk, Lauren Grant, Keenan Hall, Ian Hamill, Christopher Harding, Andrew Harris, Alexis Heitzman, Justin Heller, Rachel Hibbs, Veronica Horton, Sarah Wang, Joseph Constam, Clark Cron, Julia Krantz, Paul Kruger, Tanner Latham, Kimberly Lee, Nicholas Lee, deep breath halfway there, Nash Lysick, Spencer Marcinko, Michelle Marin, Denise Matarlo, Samuel McCoy, Claire Medica, Sarah Miche, Connor Moreland, Gage Neller, Tyler Knopfsinger, Anna Park, Melissa Payne, Adam Pierce, Danielle Pearsons, Alexander Peterson, Manamaya Peterson, Claire Primack, Tyler Rayborn, Cretan Race Krieger, Jason Ray, Jonathan Rast, Samantha Reese Sandberg, Betsy Rivera, Bobby Rossin Allstat, Amy Salisbury, Natalie Salteris, Janelle Scott, Jack Seark, Samantha Simmons, Owen Slyman, Keaston Smith, Maddie Starr, Kendall Stevens, Natalie Stone, Tegan Stewart, Amanda Summers, Ariano Tani, Michael Talon, Andrea Thielen, Dylan Tran, Haley Trantel, Elizabeth Vandermillen, Bailey Weaver, Carol Weiler, Reese Weibel, Michael Wixosa, Maddie Wilson, Eileen Yee, and Lexi York. Congratulations to our award winners.
Each year, the graduating class selects a teacher who has been significant to that class. This teacher is asked to speak a final time to the graduates. This year, the class of 2015 has chosen one of our very best. Please welcome to the stage English professor, wordsmith, and resident pundit, Mr. Chris Krantz.
I imagine the only thing worse than having your dad as your teacher is having him give the commencement address at your graduation. 2 years ago, when it was apparent that my daughter Julia would be in my class, I told her, you know, I like to tell a story now and then. Is that going to be a problem? And she said, no, so long as you tell it right. As luck would have it, I have been given the special honor of trying to tell it right one last time to you, the graduating class of 2015, and to your loving and supportive parents and grandparents, to all members of your family, to your friends, to your tirelessly dedicated teachers and administrators, to everyone who has come here today for that one purpose, to see you in the most unflattering garment ever created. I mean, look at you. You look like a mixed flat of blueberries and strawberries. But it serves a purpose, which is to unite you, show that you make up one body, which, if you ask me, is unnecessary, since your class might be the most unified, nicest, most loyal and responsible class to have ever graduated LaSalle. I mean, who, for a senior prank, brings their cuddly pets to school? I want to begin as well by taking a moment to remember our good friend, Lariva Bromley. As most of you know, Miss Bromley died from ovarian cancer earlier this year. We obviously lost a very special person, but rest assured, she will continue to live in us, especially in you, her students. And I can't help but feel in some mysterious way that her spirit is here with us now on this very, very happy occasion. Miss Bromley loved you guys. And nothing made her happier than to be in the classroom teaching you, playing practical jokes on you, or watching you perform on the stage, or out on the field, or on the court. I used to think, hasn't she got anything better to do? But the truth is, for Miss Bromley, being with you was the best thing to do. She knew that to be good at anything, you have to throw yourself into it, body and soul, and that by doing that, the experience could be life-changing. 6 years ago, we shared a student who was having trouble in both our classes. Turned out he was having trouble in all his classes. And when I asked him about it, he said, "Nothing personal, Mr. Krantz. I just don't want to be here." In the spring of that year, this student accompanied us on our annual trip to Tijuana, the service trip to Tijuana. On our second day, our job was to help build a cement court at an elementary school for underprivileged kids. We spent the entire day mixing and pouring and leveling concrete with tools so broken they were actually dangerous. All of the shovel handles, for example, were broken and thus gave us splinters and cuts. Well, as the day progressed, the students got tired and a few even got hurt. This boy, Brian, however, kept working just as hard as he had when he started. In fact, he looked happy, mixing and shoveling, lifting and spreading the concrete, essentially dirty, grueling work which most of our students were not used to doing. Well, it was getting late in the afternoon, and most of the helpers and workers had quit, but Brian was still at it. I asked him how he was able to keep going, and he replied, "Just look at this place, Mr. Krantz. You can see the ocean from here. You've got the dump on one side and the beautiful ocean on the other. This school is going to be the best place that some of these kids will have. They're going to be having fun out here and playing their games and looking at that ocean, and they're going to be standing on something that I helped build. And what could be better than that?" Later that night, while we were lying around reflecting on the day, I saw this boy on the floor, his back up against the wall, eyes closed, smiling, with an ice pack on his right shoulder. "What happened to Brian?" I asked one of the students sitting next to me. "Oh, don't you know?" she said. "Last week he dislocated his shoulder." Brian returned to school reborn. He didn't just pass his classes. His work for the first time was stellar. The year after he graduated, he sent me an email from Mexico. He was in search of the village of the writer of a book that we had read, Pedro Páramo, one that he had come to love. A year after that, he was in China teaching English. What Brian's story illustrates is that when we become so fully engaged in what we are doing, we lose our sense of self. An amazing educator, a man introduced to me by our own brilliantly creative Mr. Cachado, is Rafe Esquith, who teaches fifth graders down in South Central Los Angeles. He wrote a book called Teach Like Your Hair's on Fire, the idea of which came to him one day while helping his students with a science project. He tells us in the book that he was so engrossed in the science experiment with his kids that he was unaware that the Bunsen burner had lit his hair on fire. The idea is that when we engage in the world at this level, we become less self-conscious, less concerned about how we appear to others, and thus lose the accompanying self-doubt and fear. You see this wonderful quality in our teachers. Think of Mr. Barstow, Miss Gant. Think of Mr. Wild, Miss Coleman. These people are nuts. But the real Mad Hatter is Mr. Doran. Who'd think such a respectable-looking man, a former principal, could get so unhinged in the classroom? It's rare to see this quality in young people, but I am told that Jacob Dugan and Michael Talon and Brenna Allen have it. And I've seen it in Tyler Knopfsinger. Anna Park has it in spades. But it's Louis Bankston, who we hear muttering in the hallways arcane scientific theories that only the certifiably passionate can appreciate. If Miss Bromley were standing here, she'd tell you to be kind and work hard. She'd tell you to appreciate what you have and to honor the advantages that you have been given. What matters now is what you do with those advantages. Be patient. There are no overnight successes. All those people who have come to be seen as an overnight sensation, you know the famous ones, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, the GoPro guy, the Beatles, turn out to have been working quietly in their garages and basements in red light districts of Germany for years before they made it. My favorite example is legendary big wave surfer from Half Moon Bay, Jeff Clark, who for 15 years paddled out in some of the coldest and biggest and most treacherous surf by himself before anyone began to appreciate what he was doing. He did it simply because he loved what he was doing. Our technology, as helpful as it can be, contributes, I think, to our lack of patience. And I'm not just talking about when it suddenly stops working, causing us to get frustrated and flip out and promise we'll never use the iPad again. I'm sorry, that was me in the fall. Consider, for example, the use of big data that's come as a result of the ubiquity of cell phones. Sure, they help us avoid traffic, especially appreciated when we're in a hurry to get home to watch The Bachelor. But sometimes we need to deal with inconvenience, to cope when things don't go our way. This is an essential part of grit. It emphasizes the process, the journey, the resolve not to give up. Ever wonder what we used to navigate our way before we had global positioning systems? Google Maps or MapQuest, even before paper maps, before the invention of the compass or the sextant. Well, there was nothing, of course, and that's why we stayed home and ordered in, content to watch the shadows on the cave wall. Cormac McCarthy tells us at the end of his novel, The Road, of the original GPS. Now listen to this. Once there were brook trout in the streams in the mountains. You could see them standing in the amber current where the white edges of their fins wimpled softly in the flow. They smelled of moss in your hand, polished and muscular and torsional. On the back of the trout were vermiculate patterns that were maps of the world in its becoming, maps and mazes of a thing which could not be put back, not be made right again. In the deep glens where they lived, all things were older than man, and they hummed of mystery. If you're wondering why on earth a person becomes an English teacher, it's because of prose like that. Just ask Mr. Stiff. Allow me to unpack this beautiful passage for you. One of the things McCarthy is saying here is that we used to look to nature to give us direction, to get us out of our fixes, our mazes. We look to nature to teach us how to live in concert with all living beings. And as far as I know, an app has yet to be invented that can do that. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. It's just been invented. If you've read this grim novel, The Road, you know that it ends on a hopeful note. That the boy who manifests kindness in a world inhabited by people who depend on selfishness and cruelty to survive, a young boy who is the torchbearer of compassion, finds after his father dies a loving family who takes him in. To me, this boy is like so many of you young people who, as McCarthy would say, God's breath passes through. We have watched you grow over these last 4 years, and we too see in you the torchbearers of goodness, of selflessness, of great generosity and concern for each other, even when things don't go well. We have seen your concern for LaSalle, and especially for those you've met in your work and trips outside of school. We also see in you a yearning to do something that really matters in this world. I remember Mr. Devine telling me 4 years ago that we had a 9th grader who wants to build schools in Nepal. 2 years later, when I had the privilege of teaching Manamaya, I asked her if this were still true. Talk to her today and you'll find it is. Manamaya, where are you? Manamaya, is it still true? It's still true. Miss Bromley loved a good story, and it didn't matter who was telling it. I think she secretly wanted to be an English teacher. And I would like to end this commencement address with a little story I think she would have enjoyed. 24 summers ago, I drove with 2 very good friends the entire length of the Baja Peninsula. We were in search of remote surfing spots. Back then, we didn't have a GPS, so we relied on an old paper map, which wasn't much good once you left the highway. Well, one night, we'd been driving for 3 or 4 hours in dense coastal fog and feeling a little lost and tired. We decided to pull off the highway and sleep. We drove down an unmarked road, found a clearing, and pitched our tent. I must have been asleep for a few hours when I suddenly started to feel the ground rumble. Now, this wasn't an earthquake. Having grown up in LA, I knew the difference. This rumbling was more like what one would feel if 1,000 head of cattle were headed in your direction. I remember the 3 of us sitting upright like meerkats, ears cocked, wondering if it were safer to be outside the tent in the path of the stampede or inside the tent in the path of the stampede. My friend Ennio, who could take it no longer, unzipped the tent's door and plunged head first out into the fog. I was on all fours right behind him. From the early morning silver mist, 30, maybe 50 horses came to a standstill, all of them only feet away, eyes fixed on 3 guys standing in their underwear and frozen with fear. Okay, looking back at this moment, to be fair to Julia and anyone else who needs to have this story told right, there were probably only a dozen horses. But still, they were beautiful. I still remember the steam rising from their black nostrils, their large marble eyes, the smell of chaparral and mesquite and the brine of the ocean. And when the horse closest to us turned its head and galloped off, the rest followed in line. I mean, it was more than pretty. It was mysterious. We quickly bundled up our gear, tossed it in the Jeep, and drove off. Best of all was the fear and the extraordinary relief on our faces. We still joke about it. And so, class of 2015, a class for whom the road looks extraordinarily promising. Try, as the song says, to keep us in your heart for a while. Try turning off your phone and disengaging from technology occasionally. But most of all, plunge. Plunge forward body and soul, just as Brian and Ennio and Miss Bromley did, into this great, big, troublesome, mysterious, and beautiful world. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. We will now present the LaSalle Catholic College Preparatory Distinguished Awards to our graduating seniors. And last week at senior presentation, we presented 3 of LaSalle's major graduation awards. We presented the FSC Award to Moira Eaton, and the Zach Davidson Big Brother, Big Sister Award to Kevin Liumba and Mackenzie Cook. And we recognized our LaSallian scholars, Maddie Starr and Nathan Tomashiro. Would these students please stand and be recognized for their honor? Thank you. Today we will present a number of other major awards to our graduates. And our first award to be presented will be by Mr. Devine, our Vice Principal for Student Life.
Good morning. This is a box of crayons. But not just any box of crayons. This is a Binney & Smith 64-count Crayola crayon box. It has all your classic colors, red, blue, green, etc. It also has some amazing colors. Colors that inspire, colors that are different. Periwinkle, goldenrod, aquamarine. This crayon box used to belong to Miss Marilyn Milani, one of LaSalle's most revered and beloved English teachers. It still has her name on it, in 2 places. If you know Marilyn, she was pretty thorough about that. This year, Miss Elliott's AP English class somehow found this Crayola box. And in Miss Elliott's class, Anna Park would often use the full spectrum of colors included in this box to complete pre-writing activities on her way to crafting some thoughtful and insightful essays for Miss Elliott's perusal. Perhaps channeling this creative spirit of Miss Milani in these crayons, Anna's deep thinking was well organized and color-coded and resulted in written work described by Miss Elliott as curiosity-driven, tenaciously revised, and voiced from the heart. But these crayons weren't just used by Anna Park. I'd like to suggest that in many ways they represent Anna Park. They are a symbol of who she is and what she has meant to this community. Like this box of 64 differently colored crayons, Anna looks at every person as an individual and values and celebrates diversity in all of its different hues and tones. Whether that diversity is encountered on the windblown reservation lands of the De La Salle Blackfeet School in Montana, or in the frenzied playgrounds of Lot Wickham Elementary, or in the much closer classrooms of the Signum Fidei program. Anna has been a model of inclusion and acceptance. One teacher wrote of Anna, "She is an amazing Signum Fidei assistant who built strong relationships with students right away." Another mentioned, "She's a leader who seeks to welcome and accept everyone." At prom, Anna's classmates voted her onto the prom court, naming her most inclusive. Anna herself described this notion of an inclusive and colorful love for others in her "This I Believe" essay, which was written recently in Miss Elliott's class. Anna wrote, "I believe in loving people for their dignity as human beings, rather than only loving people who look like you, believe what you do, live near you, or act like you. I believe one can and should love others solely based on the fact that they are human and they are creations of God." The thing about a box of crayons is this: they're beautiful, they're vibrant to look at, just by themselves. But the real magic, the real inspiration happens when you take them out of the box and you start creating something beautiful, something enduring. Anna's model of inclusion begins with a vibrant and beautiful love. But it doesn't end there. She opens the box. She pulls out colors, and she creates something beautiful. Something that lasts, something that we will remember her by. During her time at LaSalle, Anna has taken action, time and again, a conscious, intentional, generous reaching out to a whole spectrum of young people, fellow students, and adults who have benefited immensely from her attention and her care. This past fall, Anna participated in the Blackfeet Immersion trip to Montana, where she spent a week serving the elementary school students at the De La Salle school there. Miss Ritt, one of the chaperones, shared that Anna arrived early in the morning and was one of the first to play in the gym with his kids. I often saw her working one-on-one with students in the hallway, helping with assignments or supporting students needing a break from the larger group atmosphere. And of course, she did it all with a smile. She was a wonderfully compassionate presence on the Montana Immersion. This year, Anna has also volunteered as a mentor and an after-school aide at Lot Wickham Elementary near LaSalle. Mr. Horch remarked, during her time volunteering at Lot Wickham each week, Anna has provided a constant source of support to the students. Her consistent, loving presence has helped multiple students feel more at ease at school. Natalie Stone, a classmate who served as a mentor in the same classroom as Anna, revealed that the students at Lot Wickham think of Anna like a teacher. In fact, they call her Miss Anna. In return, Anna knows every student by name and has made an extra effort to communicate with one student in particular who has a hearing disability by using sign language. When I think about a box of crayons, I think about little kids learning. I think about children earnestly and innocently drawing their hopes and dreams and ideas onto big blank sheets of paper and creating creating colorful blueprints of beauty. I also think about education. I think about Marilyn Milani teaching. And I think about Anna Park teaching. I think about Anna teaching children how to love every color in the community, how to empower those who live tenuously on the margins, who might color outside the lines, and how to shape those hopes, dreams, and ideas from lively, bold, and imaginative visions into tangible accomplishments. In an English class this year, Anna wrote, "My career goal is to work with kids in low-income schools and in schools with ethnic minorities, especially on a Native American reservation. As the father of a 3-year-old who is crazy about crayons, who adores learning and who loves everyone she meets, I can only hope that my daughter will one day have a teacher like Miss Anna. And I can only imagine how fortunate those future students of Anna's will be, whoever they are or wherever they may live. But what I do know for sure is how fortunate that we have been to have Anna as our student here at LaSalle. Please join me in honoring this year's Citizenship Award winner, Anna Park."
The Alumni Award is presented to 2 graduating seniors who have displayed leadership and involvement in our school. They are recognized for their exceptional commitment to LaSalle. Alumni Board President Tracy Watkins Menace, class of 1979, will present the Alumni Awards.
I'd like to start by giving a shout out to a couple of people. First, hello to Sherry Godoy, mother of graduate Joey Godoy. Sherry is listening today to the graduation through the miracle of technology from her hospital room in Portland. Sherry, please know that your LaSalle community loves you, is praying for you, and is here for you and your family. Next, I'd like to congratulate my nephew, Alex Peterson, one of today's graduates. Way to go, Al. I know the importance of awards at graduation. My older brother and sister were recognized with the Michael Gloden Award, the Religion Medal, and the Citizenship Award. I broke that streak by receiving no honors at graduation. Recently, my brother, Ted Watkins, of the class of '76, asked our nephew, Alex Peterson, which awards he would be receiving, and told him that he would give him $100 for each time his name was mentioned from the stage. Well, Alex Peterson, I believe I've made you $300. Seniors, you have great memories, but I suspect that the thing that really made them great were the friends and faculty that were here with you for the ride. Your companions for the journey, the people you look forward to seeing every day. Some of these people have been with you since preschool, almost your entire life. But somehow, in the last 4 years, we forgot to tell you that when we say all good things come to an end, we really mean all good things come to an end, or at least will eventually transform into new things and experiences. There is an art to saying goodbye. For you in the Instagram and Snapchat generation, it will be easier to stay connected, but it isn't the same as sharing the journey on a daily basis. Some goodbyes are obvious, such as when you will part ways today. Some may come as a surprise. Friends will relocate and move to other cities. You will keep in touch, but it will be different. You will make new friends, sometimes with people who are less fortunate than you. You know, like people from Central Catholic and Jesuit. You will remain in motion, but LaSalle will remain here, continuing its mission to prepare the next group for their inevitable goodbye. A goodbye is not a tearful farewell, but rather a heartfelt expression of best wishes and affection for those who have shared the journey with us and whom we definitely plan to see again. I hope you will keep in touch with your classmates. It will never be the same, but it will be new, exciting, and hopefully better as you continue your journey and appreciate more fully your time at LaSalle. As the old Beatles song goes, you say goodbye, I say hello. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I say hello to our newest alums and greet you with open arms. You are always welcome back at LaSalle, and we are here to help you stay connected with each other. I wish you all safe journeys until we meet again. Oh, and Alex Peterson, you left your lights on? Cha-ching, Uncle Ted. And now for the Alumni Association Awards, which were voted on by the faculty, who had this to say about our female recipient. Still water runs deep. I would suggest that this is true about her. On the surface, she can seem still and quiet, but beneath the surface is a deeply intellectual, curious soul. She listens more than talks because she is constantly processing the world around her. She has excelled in the classroom. Her ability to carefully listen to others makes her a compassionate friend to many. She is a needed role model in our world, more listening and deep thinking before acting. This young lady is respectful, kind, focused, and full of life. Wise beyond her years, she has a mature sense of herself and knows that she is capable of great things. I am happy to present this award to Julia Krantz. The faculty had this to say about our male recipient. He is incredibly patient and understanding. He provided loving support to his peers on Journey this spring. He is a man of great integrity. I really appreciate his interest in things for their own sake. A very impressive young person, confident and capable, destined to lead. His kind nature brings a peaceful vibe to his situation. He is like a taller version of Andy Kuffner. It is my pleasure to present the Alumni Award to Keaston Smith.
The Dorothy Day Humanitarian Award is bestowed upon a student who, in the eyes of the administration here at LaSalle, has best demonstrated generosity and service toward all members of the community. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Felix Barber, Director of Service, to present this year's Dorothy Day Award.
Good afternoon. I am pleased to present the Dorothy Day Humanitarian Award. Service at LaSalle is about examining the root causes of injustices in our world, working to end them, and spending time among our brothers and sisters that are marginalized in our world. This award recognizes a graduating senior who has placed his or her intelligence and education at the service of others. Dorothy Day was a devout Catholic who stood alongside the marginalized, worked to address injustice, and became the hands and feet of Jesus in our world. This faith in action is a response to the words of St. Paul in his letters to the early Christian church at Ephesus. Be imitators of God as beloved children and walk in the way of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and a sacrifice to God. Follow God's example and walk in love, that is, walk in mercy, forgiveness, and live as children of the light, giving thanks always and for everything to God the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. This year's award recipient is always kind. Within our community, she embraces our core values, especially inclusive community and respect for the individual. She is truly LaSallian in the way she makes sure everyone is always included. As numerous people have commented, every time they pass by her, they are greeted with a smile and a hello. In her presence, it is easy to feel safe and listened to. She has mastered the virtue of hospitality for others. She is always welcoming and keeps a constant outlook for the needs of others before herself. And she is also a remarkable teacher. Starting early her freshman year, she asked for opportunities to tutor. And in the 4 years since, countless LaSalle students have benefited from her kindness, patience, and ability to rephrase and reteach challenging concepts. While many subjects come easily to her, she never takes her abilities for granted or assumes anything less about anyone who is struggling. She seems to recognize that everyone around her has the ability and has talents in different contexts. And most remarkably, one of her most striking talents is helping others realize their own potential. A strong, confident young lady, bright and beautiful, a sure, gentle soul, others have said of her, she is so kind, and boy, does she know how to accessorize. She is one of the most thoughtful and positive students on campus. Please join me in congratulating the 2015 Dorothy Day Humanitarian Award recipient, Brenna Allen.
The Michael Gloden Award was established in the class of 1974 in memory of Michael H. Gloden, a LaSalle student who lost his life in a car accident not far from the school in 1972. This award is unique in that its members of the graduating class decided on a recipient of this award. Each of you out there made this decision based on integrity, character, citizenship, and generous service to the class. To present the Michael H. Gloden Award is none other than the one and only Mr. Ernie Casciato.
It's a special announcement. Don't worry, your lights are off. Alex Peterson. I'm an alum, so I had to do that. Before I go on, I want to say I personally think this is very flattering. It's all in perspective, Krantz. So let's get on with it because I want to get home. For some reason, I have a craving for strawberries and blueberries. Now, before I got up here, there was a hand on my shoulder and a voice in my ear saying, "You're giving this award to my favorite student ever." It was rather ominous. I was like, is she warning me that I better not screw it up? Being Italian, I think that way, you know. Over the years, it has been my privilege to give this award, to present it to somebody. This award that's named after my high school friend, Michael Gloden. As the first recipient of this award, I find that over the years, I share it with some pretty remarkable people. And this year is no exception. I'd like to tell you some of the things that faculty and staff has said about this year's recipient. She's a gift, working with students of all grade levels and connecting with them in positive ways. She's fun-loving. She genuinely cares for others, an excellent role model to her peers and younger students. Another person said, she's amazing. Her sense of maturity is an asset to her peers. She provides so much love and support to those around her. Through 4 years of retreat, I have seen her engage in conversations and be a strong personal support for her peers. She lives in the moment. She embraces opportunities to love her neighbors right where they are in life. And through this love, she helps to elevate the moods and spirits of our whole community. She is a blessing to all of us here, young and old. In spite of life's obstacles, she so easily wears her lovely smile, showing us her best self and giving her whole heart. She is genuine, she is caring, a bundle of loving energy, always willing to open herself to others. Another one said she is such a delightful young woman who always has a positive outlook. She gives 100% in everything she does. I am proud to have had her as a student, and I know she will do great things in life. She's a considerate and passionate person. I really enjoyed her sincere, thoughtful attitude in class. Now, considering what happened before the speech, I think it's appropriate now that Mr. Moran come up and help me present it. Oh, God. I thought there was a Brad Pitt movie up there. It is with great pride that I allow Ms. Moran to give this award to her favorite student ever, Claire Medica. High five, Claire. Alex Peterson, let's do lunch.
The De La Salle Award is given each year to a graduating senior who embodies the spirit of St. John Baptist de La Salle. As you can imagine, it is very difficult to assign this award to only one senior. When we select this award, we consider the 5 LaSallian core values. In doing so, we ask the following questions. Who strives not only to get a quality education, but also help others to do so as well? Who lives out the value to respect all persons? Who works to create a more just world? Who invites others and makes all people feel included? Who, through their actions, reminds others of the presence of God? It is certainly the hope of LaSalle Prep that these values become the pillars of your lives as you move forward into the broader world. In regard to this year's recipient, my colleagues have offered the following comments which will help articulate why this person was selected to receive the De La Salle Award. She has a strong moral compass. She has a gentle temperament with the fire of the Holy Spirit, eager to share the good news of Jesus. She is a very talented public speaker who has the knack for explaining religion and spirituality on relatable stories. She is incredibly disciplined and always goes forward with what is required. She is an excellent example of a servant leader. My own reasoning for awarding this person the De La Salle Award would include the famous words attributed to St. Francis of Assisi. He is known for making the suggestion that people should live the gospel always and use words when necessary. The person receiving this award certainly does live the gospel always, and most of the time this is without words. This included working behind the scenes on retreats, helping out on student council with whatever task needed to be accomplished, or by living her faith by consistently being reflective, honest, genuine, and compassionate towards others. On the other hand, this person has also used words when necessary to remind us all about the journey of faith. Her words at the start of Mass have become a favorite part to those, and they set the tone to the service. After our last all-school Mass, the Archbishop complimented her on her great introduction to the Mass, stating that he was worried that she might address all of his points he planned for the homily. It gives me great joy to overhear these words of high praise from the Archbishop for the work that she did. He did not know it, but his compliment really covered the humble and yet quality efforts of this person through both service and leadership over the course of the last 4 years. I am honored to announce that the recipient of the St. John Baptist De La Salle Award this year is Moira Eaton for her quiet, humble, unassuming, and yet inspiring example that she lives each day. Please join me in honoring Moira Eaton.
Class of 2015 graduates, parents, colleagues, and assembled guests, at this time, please join me in welcoming to the podium our principal, Mr. Andrew Kuffner.
Mine's the last speech. Yes. I would invite you, if you get bored, to watch the Brad Pitt movie on the side screens. And Alex Peterson, I'll see you later. If you wanted to throw a little bit of that my way, I'm saving for Emma's graduation, or college tuition. Anyway, graduates, families, friends, thank you for being here today. I always tell the graduates that this ceremony is about them, and you did hear a lot about them today. but it's for all of us. It's for all of us to celebrate them, to lift them up, and in many ways, to let them go, because we know you must. You must go. From here, you launch into the rest of your life, and you have so very much to look forward to. So here I stand, ready to say a few words to you. The last speaker at your high school graduation. I'm sure this will be the last time you're all together in the same place listening to anyone. So, here we go. There are 3 things I would like to say to you. First, a few words from our founder. Second, some ideas from an author who wrote a book about motivation. And last, I would like to give you what's been recently discovered and scientifically proven to help you lead a happy life. If De La Salle were standing here today, I am confident he would give you the following charge as you enter adulthood. Be good people. De La Salle believed in the inherent goodness of all, knowing that this goodness, this dignity, this blessedness comes from our Creator, not from our social class, race, gender, level of occupation, whatever. He believed the more we can live in faith, remembering that we were always in the holy presence of God, this remembering will transform our interactions and lead us to be the good people we were created to be. So maybe I'll refine what De La Salle would say to you. Maybe he would say, be who you were created to be. For you were created for goodness, for wholeness, for joy. Be who you were created to be and trust in your own goodness and the goodness of others. Second, recently, Dan Pink wrote a pretty amazing book about the science of motivation. Now, I know this is something that some of you have struggled with in your academics more than others, but understanding what motivates you, I believe, is critically important to consider as you make some pretty important decisions in your life in the next few years. It turns out that there are 3 key ingredients to motivation: purpose, autonomy, and mastery. Purpose. People who are more motivated to work on something or do something when the purpose was clear. This motivation was increased when the purpose was altruistic or something the person believed in. Think about your teachers. The Sallian mission is powerful and is an incredible motivating factor in our work. So I challenge you, do something you believe in, or at least for a company that you can believe in. Read their mission statement. And if they don't have one, pause and think twice about working there. Find purpose in your work, and you will find it more motivating. Second, autonomy, choice. The ability to influence what you do and how you do it. The opportunity to be creative or to be supported to follow your own ideas. Companies have figured this out. Did you know that at Google, you can spend up to 20% of your time working on a project of your own choice? 20%. That's 1 full day per week. And even better, if what you're doing in that 20% time eventually sells or makes the company money, you will personally get a share of the net profits. Autonomy opens you up to trust in yourself and to take a risk, to invest in and cultivate your own ideas. So we have purpose, autonomy, and last is mastery. Mastery is having skills, sometimes exceptional skills. Mastery is knowing how to do something and being able to do it well. It fosters pride in your work, pride in yourself. How many of you like to do things when you know you're good at it, or don't when you're not very good at it? Mastery is all about doing something with quality. If you don't yet have the skills to do a good job, find a place that invests in you and helps you to be able to not just do it, but do it well. So the science behind motivation reveals it's all about purpose, autonomy, and mastery. Finally, I'd like to share with you the key to happiness. After years of research and 10 clinical trials, researchers at the world-renowned Mayo Clinic have published a handbook. I'm not kidding, it was released just this past week. Do you want to know what the number one way to increase your happiness is? Stop living a life for yourself, and instead, live your life for others. It turns out that thinking of others, caring for others, giving of yourself to others actually increases your happiness. Now, you can certainly dismiss this and say, thanks for that one, Captain Obvious. But I don't believe it's that simple. I believe it's actually a challenge. More than that, this is how I believe we were made. God created us for others. What other purpose do we have than serving and loving others? Just think about this. God created us in his image and likeness, sent his Son to live among us and show us how to live for others, and when we do, we are happier. By design. Not by chance, by design. As we think of others more than ourselves, we increase our happiness. Awesome. So I hope you picked up on the little theme I worked into these 3 pieces. De La Salle says, be who you were created to be. Dan Pink says, do what you believe in, of your own choosing, and what you're good at. And the Mayo Clinic says, do it for others instead of yourself, and you will live a happier life. I have to believe this is not all a coincidence. As much of a fan of scientific research as I am, I love it when the science supports faith. Our faith tells us that we are the body of Christ, that we are good, that we are loved, that we are created for a purpose, endowed with unique gifts and talents that are intended to serve humanity with humility. The reward for all of this? Happiness. I firmly believe in this for you. I believe that you have goodness, and that in your future, the more you cultivate your gifts and use them to serve, you reveal God's plan for you, and that plan is to live in communion with him, in happiness and in peace. Thank you for spending your high school years with us, and we look forward to witnessing all the good you will do as you enter this next amazing phase of your life. God bless you, and Godspeed.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to graduate. Mr. Andrew Kuffner will award diplomas to the Salle Catholic College Preparatory graduates of 2015. And we ask that you hold your applause until all the graduates have received their diplomas. Good luck there. Doing so will give each student the full recognition they deserve. The following students have successfully completed the course of study prescribed for graduation by the State of Oregon and by La Salle Catholic College Preparatory, and we hereby present them to you, Mr. Kuffner, to receive their diplomas. Nicole Kathleen Acker. Amberly Rose Adams. Catherine Muriel Atkinson. Molly Ann Agripson. Linda Enrica Agum. Brenna Carey Allen. Cassidy Renee Apperson. Emily Taylor Bacon. Ian Joseph Basil. Willow Haley Batson. Clarice Elaine Beasley. Miguel Angel Becerra Torres. Louis Langdon Bankson. Daniel Arlen Berger. Hannah Eileen Bergeson. Michael Andrew Bianca. Anna Catherine Bornemeyer. Austin Burgess Bosworth. Alyssa Mackenzie Bowman. Brooke Noel Boyd. Sarah Alvina Branham. Alexander Edward Bridgman. Bailey Ann Bronick. Matthew Bruin. Kevin Lopsy Bui. Yen Hai Bui. Allison Pastorius Burns. Caitlin Rose Carr. Susanna Carroll. Sally Beth Castaneda. Alexandria Marie Cavender. Francesca Cecilia Chabot. Taylor Elizabeth Cheney McMahon. Catherine Mary Christopherson. Cheyenne Michaela Zimpolteka Clark. Michael James George Cleary. Eric Clemens. Andrew Allen Collier. Brennan Scott Collins. Madeline Collins. Blake Phelps Colton. Liam Hello Compton. Mackenzie Marie Cook. Catherine Mary Dana. Lauren Nicole Dana. Paul Francis Davis. Greg Allen Detmer. Noah Joseph Dermuñoz. Michael Walker Duarte. Jacob David Dugan. Moira Francis Nadine Eaton. Alexander Tomohiro Edwards. Michael Charles Edwards. Taylor Mackenzie Eel. Carlos Ruben Gabriel Estrada. Brendan Dale Falk. Allison Danielle Foraker. Grace Amelia Foreign Self. Wyatt James Foster. Valois Regis Gashangare. Joseph Stephen Godoy. Shua Gong Fei. Victoria Lynn Goodman. Lauren Elizabeth Grant. Keenan Patrick Hall. Ian Edward Hamill. Joshua Lyle Hammond. Christopher Alexander Harding. Jessica Danielle Hargraves. Andrew Gerald Harris. Alexis Renee Heitzman. Justin Ray Heller. Duran Jeffrey Herrera. Rachel Ann Hibbs. James Moses Higgins. John Martin Hogan. Veronica Ruth Horton. Levi Patrick Hofick. Sarah Huang. Jack Logan Kane. Jeffrey James Karambulis. Joseph Lothair Constam. Clark Emery Cron. Julia Francis Krantz. Paul Robert Kruger. Noah Benjamin Landstrom. Tanner Kenneth Latham. Kimberly Nock Lee. Nicholas Richard Lee. Wilson Brown Link. Nash Markser Lysek. Kevin Irenj Yumba. Gregory Adam Manzano. Spencer Matthew Marcinko. Michelle Marin. Denise Rovine Ulatan Martarlo. Hannah Rose Matthews. Tyler Dalton Mayfield. Samuel Lewis McCoy. Claire Rose Medica. David Paul Meyer. Leander Christoph Miley. Sarah Elizabeth Mache. Kevin Charles Moore. Alan Morales. Connor Francis Moreland. Gage Stephen Neller. Tyler Bryant Nearstead. Tyler Blaine Knopfsinger. Marley Ann Norman. Michael Patrick O'Keefe. Austin Ronald Olson. Anna K. Park. Melissa Lynn Payne. Adam Robert Pierce. Gregory Mellis Pelton. Danielle Renee Persons. Alexander Lloyd Watkins Peterson. Manamaya Rhiannolyn Peterson. Claire Elizabeth Primack. Tyler Scott Rayborn. Keaton Jeffrey Race Krieger. Jason Patrick Ray. Nathan Paul Rascio. Jonathan Richard Rast. Samantha Brianne Sandberg. Thomas Carrick Riddle. Betsy Angela Rivera. Marcus Samuel Roberts. Daniela Rojas Martinez. Catherine Elizabeth Rose. Robert Thomas Rawson Allstott. Keaton Ali Rudolph. Amy Lynn Salisbury. Natalie Ann Salteris. Spencer James Sanchez Rebegliati. David William Schroeder. Allison Mary Schweitzer. Janelle Karam Scott. David Alexander Sherrill. Kelly Thomas Scholl. Jack Christopher Sirk. Gabriela Toledo Simmons. Samantha Jean Simmons. Owen Paul Hudson Slyman. Keyston Patrick Smith. Madeline Louise Starr. Kendall Christine Stevens. Shannon Kathleen Stockfleth. Natalie Jean Malia Stone. Tegan Marie Stewart. Megan Elizabeth Studdard. Amanda Elaine Summers. Gleb Igorovich Suritz. Nathan Vincent Tamashiro. Ariano Rich Tani. Mikkel Anthony Tarbett. Cameron Allen Taylor. Michael John Rico Gayamali Taylon. Andrea Kathleen Thielen. Bartolome Torres Osario. Dylan Kong Tran. Haley Monterey Trantel. Noah Curtis Trantel. Athena Ray Turner. Elizabeth Noel Van Drimmelen. Charles Truman Vandehey. Bailey Michelle Weaver. Kara Marie Weiler. Kylie Westermeyer. Reese Allen Weibel. Michael Alexander Wick-Sosa. Lauren Mackenzie Williams. Shariah Lee Williams. Madeline Faith Wilson. Brian Michael Wright. Eileen Yee. And Lexi Joanne York. To publicly indicate their graduation, graduates will now move their academic tassels from right to left. Now, graduates, please stand. Graduates, please stand. Turn and face your family, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the LaSalle Catholic College Preparatory graduating class of 2015. Congratulations. In conclusion, for our ceremony, I'm going to ask now that Mr. Gary Horsch pronounce the benediction.
Please be seated. One last prayer of blessing before we go. Let us remember. May your life be a river. May you flow with the purpose of the one who created and called you, who directs your course and turns you ever toward home. May your way shimmer with the light of Christ, who goes with you, who bears you up, who calls you by name. May you move with the grace of the Spirit, who brooded over the face of the waters at the beginning, and who will gather you in at the end. St. John Baptist de La Salle. Live Jesus in our hearts.
To the graduating class of 2015, congratulations. To our guests, thank you for your presence as we recognized and celebrated our LaSalle's graduating class of 2015. We ask that you remain seated until the entire academic procession has exited. Thank you.